Hey everybody, time for another review. So today we're going to be looking at my Makita random orbit sander. This is the BO5010 model. I have had this thing for about 17 years and I was actually just sanding up a set of shelves for myself when it finally packed it in. And what we're going to do today is open it up and see what's going on. There's something with the switch here. The switch doesn't move, so maybe it should gummed up with dust and I can still salvage this thing. This sander has actually been very good. I have sanded countless woodworking projects. I've even done just a small area of hardwood floor in a porch, decks, you name it. I've done it with this thing. This has actually been a real workhorse and it's been great. One of the complaints I do have about it is the dust collection. All you get is this little bag, and basically what it does, it just kind of spews dust everywhere. What I did is I had an attachment on it and I would hook it up to my dust collector, which helped a lot. Now I replaced it with a Bosch, and in particular I replaced it with this Bosch here. So this is the ROS 10 from Bosch. Now this is brand new. Now why did I go with the Bosch? To be honest, it was on sale for 50 bucks, so I bought it. Things I like about it: the dust collection is excellent on it. You don't actually need any other attachments. So inside this little thing here, when you pop it open, so inside the dust collector, now obviously I haven't cleaned it out for a bit, but it's got these Alright, so I've taken apart the sander here, and I mean the inside looks like it's in pretty good shape. A couple of things to notice here is there's some good sized bearings on this thing, and they still seem pretty decent. The problem I'm having is with the switch here, so I'm going to take this switch apart and see what we got. But just a quick look on the inside, considering this thing has 17 years of use. Not a lot of dust on the inside, so once you seal it up and keep the dust out of it, keeps it working well for quite a while. Alright, let's pull that switch apart and see if we can't figure out what's wrong with it. Well, I guess the joke's on me, we can't pull that switch apart, but probably find a new switch for it, because I think the rest of this sander is actually still in operational shape. Brushes actually don't look too bad on it. And I like this sander, so if I can keep it, that would be good. However, overall review, I'm very happy with this sander. It performed well, it did a lot of work. I would certainly buy another one. If there's an area for improvement, it's the dust collection. The dust collection on this thing was garbage. This is just a little bag. Basically dust comes out of all these seams, it's terrible. Hey everybody, so we're back after a slight delay. Basically what has happened with my Makita sander is the switch here gave up the ghost, doesn't click back and forth. So I ordered a new switch. And we're going to install that and hopefully get this thing put back together properly. And then we'll give it a quick test, because it's been a while since I've used this. But it was making a bit of noise when I was using it last, so I did buy that new sander. I've got the Bosch, which I really like the dust collection on the Bosch, but it seems like when you put just a little bit of pressure on it, the plate stops moving. If I get the Makita working here, maybe we'll do a quick test. And so I don't like it as much. This Makita was pretty aggressive. You could put some good pressure on it to get, if you're sanding off old paint or stain, and it wouldn't bog down. The only problem is it had really bad dust collection. So let's put this thing back together and we'll make an attempt at seeing if we can get it to work. Alright, so I've just got the main body put back together. I didn't put the dust collection part on, just in case I have to tear it apart again. So let's plug this in. Hopefully I won't electrocute myself here. So we got power. Now I can't turn it on too much because I got that ring that I think, oh bugger, hopefully I didn't damage it. Alright, let's put the dust collection part back on and then we're going to run a quick test between our two sanders here. Very cool. Alright, so I've got my Makita sander back together and it works. So what I've got here is I've broken out both sanders. I've put a brand new 120 grit sandpaper on each one. Now I also have two 5-pound weights here. So what I want to do is just turn these on and I'm going to see if the 5 pounds makes them bog down or not. Let's just start with the Bosch for the moment, since I don't have a lot of room here. So I'm just going to keep this thing from moving. Before I do anything, you can see the pad here is not really turning a whole lot. So 5 pounds of weight stops that pad dead in its tracks. So in that little bit of time, it can go through a plywood veneer, which isn't a shock. Those veneers are not very robust. You also notice there wasn't a lot of dust coming out of that. Now, just for fun here, I've put the Makita dust collection on. I usually hook up my dust collector to it, but for today, a little different. All right, let's fire this thing up and see if it burns up. This one's obviously a little more noisy. Let's put the 5 pounds on and see what happens. See, the 5 pounds doesn't stop that thing. This is a way better sander. Now, a lot of you are probably asking, like, how often you need to put that kind of weight on? Well, maybe if you're stripping paint. I want to turn this thing to the side. I'm getting a hell of a lot of sparks coming out of that thing. That's a little worrisome. Doesn't sound all that healthy either, so I'm wondering if I actually did wear it out. Nah, there's something wrong with this one. Either way, even the so-called broken Makita is going to have far more sanding power because 5 pounds of weight will not stop this pad from moving, whereas on the Bosch it will. The Bosch, got to give it credit where credit's due, dust collection is second to none. I am so amazed by this dust collection, it's great. If the Makita was actually working properly, this thing's probably going to spew dust everywhere. So there's your quick review. Makita sander, much better for when you want to do aggressive sanding, stripping paint off of maybe old shelves or something like that. Also very good for fine woodworking. I've been using this thing for 17 years and it has never let me down till I burned out the switch and probably burned something else out in there. Bosch, not as happy with. It's just too much of a lightweight. You put any little tiny bit of pressure on that thing and that wheel, that pad stops turning, which is very disappointing. It makes it very tough to do anything aggressive. Might save your butt when you're sanding plywood because you won't go through the veneers fast, but I'd rather have a little more control than that. There you go, quick review of two sanders. If you want to make a much better sander, take this sander and put that dust collection on it and you'll have a pretty good machine.